We're live. We're live and we're back. And I just thought about something. I believe you're the only person I know that cheers for Auburn. I don't think I know anyone else in my life or world that I've ever met that cheers. Yeah, anyways. So there you go. Anyways.
For you.
We're still irrelevant. No, welcome everybody back to my top 25 college football teams heading into 2025. And you don't know this because I didn't tell you this on purpose, but the way the series is going to release is by order of ranking that I have for these teams. So no one really knows who I've talked to, except for obviously you know that I'm talking to you, but nobody
Right.
knows my top 25, who I'm talking to, what it's going to look like. So the team that is going to be 25th is going to release on August 1st, and then we're just going to work our way down till August 25th until the season starts. So having
Oh,
said all
nice.
of that, thank you for joining me. It's obvious what episode this is. I will be quiet. You know this because you've been here before, but your information will be in the comment section, in the description, all the places so they can find you. But anyways, if you want to introduce yourself, let us know who you are, how long you've been an Auburn fan, and how many Black Auburn fans do you know? Totally kidding. Don't answer that. Go
All
ahead.
right. Philip Dukes, aka Dukes D Scoop. Been an Auburn fan since the year 2000 when I graduated high school and attended Auburn. Um, just seemed like a good place for me to go. Coming out of wanting to get a little bit further away from home. Um, where I'm from in College Park, Georgia, Auburn is actually closer than Athens is, but
Is it?
yep, it's actually on the south side of Atlanta. Auburn is closer than UGA is, but so it was a easy trip down 85 for me to get there. I had a buddy of mine who was a star basketball player at the time, and had a really good time when I visited. And just to pick a place for me to choose academics, kind of hang out, and I can get back to Atlanta as quickly as possible on the weekends, which I wanted to do. Auburn was the perfect fit, so got down there, learned to love it, made a lot of good relationships, a lot of good friends, and proud to be an Auburn alum and live by the Auburn creed.
What is that? Is there like a oath or something, or is it like a
It-
what's
it's
understood doesn't need to be explained kind of thing? Or
no, it's a little bit of both. Like it's like something where they talk about believing in education, believing in who you are, person to
got it.
person, and but it's something that Auburn alums usually, if you hear somebody mention the creed, it's like, all right, hey man, you know the creed, you know the creed.
Okay.
So it's kind of one of those things where the Auburn creed means a lot more to Auburn alum than it probably would than the average person. So, and
Okay.
shoot, you know, I believe that this is a practical world, and I can count on only what I earned. Therefore, I believe in work, hard work. That's the first part of it. So, um,
Okay. So it's like
yeah,
a statement or like a testament or something.
for sure.
Okay, cool. So I know that on your YouTube channel you make Auburn videos.
Hmm.
I watch them. So I have some opinions based off the opinions that you've given me and based off my own research. But I
Right.
would like to know, like, for you, what is success going to look like this year? Like, what are you looking forward to? What are you hoping for? What is success for you guys this year? If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to check and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. And don't forget to turn on those notification bells. Also, if you're feeling generous, leave me a comment in the comment section below.
Got to win 9. I think Auburn needs to win at least 9. I think offensively, you won't find a better battery of quarterback and wide receiver anywhere in the country. You might find some as talented, but I don't think you find anybody who's 1,000% more talented than that wide receiver room. And the two quarterbacks they have in there, two former 5 stars in Jackson Arnold and Deuce Knight. And a lot of people felt like Deuce Knight may even be your best opportunity to win. But
Mm,
if you have an option, when you have a guy like Jackson Arnold, former 5 star, um, didn't have the best year at Oklahoma, Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers are gambling on the fact of saying that, you know what, with him having so many injured wide receivers last year, such a battered offensive line in Oklahoma, if you give him the tools needed, then you'll see something different out of him. So I think with that being said, with the schedule, you get Auburn at home, you get Georgia at home, you get Bama at home. Um, and once you get past those first 6 games, the back end of the schedule is pretty favorable for Auburn, especially having Bama at home, the Iron Bowl at home. So yeah, I think a successful season looks like 9 wins. You need it. You really need it because of the amount of
yeah.
money that NIL wise, when you look at your roster, how much money you have allotted in top tier talent, and to have 2 top 10 classes over the last 2 years with a losing record, you had to be spending a little bit of money. So with that being said, this is the year Hugh Freeze has to do it. We've been waiting on it, and I think Auburn fans, and I think they'll be pleasantly surprised this year.
I like it. I have talked to a couple of people from like SEC schools, and they're going to play at Auburn this year. And they always say it's a wonky place to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I've never heard that before. But what is it? Is it just the environment? Is it the way the field is structured? Or is it just one of those places that is just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. So
I mean,
have you heard that before?
Man, what? Hear it all the time. Kirby Smart believes it. When you just look at, the whole country kind of knows. Like, you look at some of the highlights, Kick Six, the Prayer and Jordan Hare,
True.
like all of these iconic type games where it's just like, that's just a place you don't want to play. Like when it's like, a very like 90,000 strong. It's a magical place. People in Auburn don't feel like they're the little brother in the state. They feel as if what everybody else feels like Bama is, they feel like they're the Bama. Like, and that's why the pressure is always so high on the head coach at Auburn. If you look at it, the last time Auburn had a winning season, it was Gus Malzahn, and he got fired. So when you look at the expectations of an Auburn, and that was really an 8-win team. Of course, it was in the COVID shortened season. They went 6-4 in the SEC, all SEC slate. But if you add 2 cupcakes in, it's an 8-4 team, and he got fired. So.
Fair.
I think it's just one of those places where the environment plays such a big deal or such a big role into how the players play. Sometimes, like, when you look at the success that they've had in the Iron Bowl when it's been played in Auburn, there have been a lot of times they've been the underdog, and Alabama was a markedly better team. But it's just something special about that stadium and Jordan Hare. And yeah, I think that magic continues this year. And it's just and college football is a better place when Auburn gets one of those big time wins. So hopefully this is the year.
Okay. What do you think the strengths are of this team? Like, what is something that you're like, all right, if all else fails, I know this group is going to be just fine.
I'm gonna go wide receiver room and defensive line. The wide receiver room, you look at 2 surefire first rounders in Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman was ranked higher than Ryan Williams in that star-studded wide receiver class of 2024, featuring Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, and Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman was the guy. Bigger target, has an amazing catch radius, and he hasn't really been able to get off in the way that a lot of people thought he would have because of the quarterback play. So when you look at Eric Singleton, who has a chance to run a 4.2 40 at the combine, I think he's 3rd in the state all-time of Georgia in the 100. The only people faster than him are Maurice Gleaton, who just ran a 9.82, and Tyreek Hill. After that is him. And that's everybody in the history of Georgia. After 2 good seasons at Georgia Tech, he was the number 1 receiver in the transfer portal. And then you look at beyond him, a 5-star in Perry Thompson is still waiting to break out. You look at Malcolm Simmons, who's probably the best athlete. With everything I've already said, Malcolm Simmons is probably the best athlete on the team. Those are the first 4 you're running out. Then you look at what I would say that what they did recruiting wise in the last couple of years with a 6'6" Derek Smith, and also a guy like transfer portal Horatio Fields and Sam Turner, who probably had the best spring of any wide receiver. You go 7 deep in Auburn, so 1 through 7. I think Athlon had them at the number 2 receiving room in the entire country. So that's where I would probably make my bones if I were to be a betting man as far as talent, the wide receiver room. And honorable mention is going to be the defensive line, led by a guy like Keldrick Falk, who is the most draft eligible player in Auburn right now. 6'6", around 270 pounds, can play every position on the defensive line you need him to. Young stars and Malik Blockton, who played a ton as a true freshman last year. And then you round that out with some young talent. Malik Autry, another 6'5", 330-pound guy who was a 5-star. And let's talk about Chris Murray. Sam Houston State. Let's talk about Kieran Crawford. Like that, the defensive line is loaded as well. So in a very, very long-winded but factual statement, I will go wide receiver and defensive line.
Okay, you can be long-winded. Hey, this is your show. I'm just here to facilitate it. So this is all for you. So what would the alternate question? Like what would you think would be the biggest weakness or the biggest concern heading into the season?
I would probably say the linebacker group. Not a lot of experience there. I think they have a lot of talent there, but when you lose two senior linebackers and your two starters last year, you return Robert Woodyard, who hasn't played a ton, but he looks to be the presumed to be the Mike. You got DeMarcus Riddick, who's a really talented player, one of those guys that you flip from Georgia in that first Hugh Freeze class where everybody says, okay, we got the ship going in the right way. But not a lot of veteran presence, not a lot of tackles that have already happened at the Power 5 level. Got a good transfer from Maryland who's played some football. I lose his name at the moment, but that room kind of scares me a little bit because when you think about the secondary, you got two. I mean, you got two freshman All-American from last year in the secondary, and then you got Kane Lee, who's in a potential NFL prospect this year's draft. He has the ability to leave early with a good year, and I already spoke about the defensive line, so they scare me a little bit. And the running back room, who may not have a ton of experience, but I really like Damari Austin, a four-star guy, waited his turn behind Jarquez Hunter, so I think he has a breakout year.
I love it. You mentioned the schedule earlier. What game are you looking forward to the most? Like, what game on the schedule are you like, I'm excited to see how we look against them? I'm excited to see that one.
Got to go Baylor. Friday night in Baylor.
Ooh, is that the first game of the
First
season?
game. Yep, first game.
Okay.
So all eyes will be on that team, on that stadium down there, and I'm just excited to see because Baylor's a team who's pretty much in the same position. Dave Aranda, who's been on a hot seat, had rebounded last year, and Auburn. This is a game where Auburn should have been there. When you look at recruiting rankings and what they've done and what they've built, Auburn does have a more talented roster, but are they a more talented team? When I say, can they play together? Can they put it all together on the field? So I think that Auburn is in a really treacherous position because those guys are going to be wild. First game of the season, it's going to be hot as all get out, and you're going to be in a very
it's going to be hot.
and behind enemy lines, and in Waco, Texas. I don't know any. We talk about people that I don't know anybody from Waco, Texas. Not one person. So I'll say they're definitely in unfamiliar territory. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one because that can be the catalyst for your season. You come out, you lose that game, it's more of the same. People get down on themselves, and you can mess around and go 2-4 on your first 6. You go out, you win that game, you build some confidence, you hang a big number on that defense, the offense, and you scare people into saying, you know what? Maybe we need to go 3, drop 8, or maybe we don't need to bring that safety up in the box because they've got too much offensively. Then you can start to see some things go in your favor with which is where Hugh Freeze has always excelled traditionally, is when people knew that he can throw the ball and get vertical, then he would just eat you up in the RPO game. So I think that game is really going to be the catalyst for the season.
Is it Friday or Saturday?
Friday night.
Ooh, at the same time as Colorado?
I think they come on before Colorado, if I'm mistaken.
Oh, okay.
No, maybe. Yeah, I think they come on before because that'd be like Central.
Okay.
Waco
taking strays my whole life.
You from Waco?
Certain cities. No.
Oh, well, I'm about to say you the first one. You know anybody? You know the most famous thing that happened in Waco, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
Absolutely. I'm a Texas woman. Of course I do. That's what I'm saying. There's certain places that in Texas that will always catch strays. And Waco is one of them. So I hear you. So what game do you feel like is a trap game? So because I feel like this is like Auburn's could potentially be their coming out year. Could potentially there's so many things at play. You have some home games that you really like. You have this Baylor game, but is there a game where you're like, oh gosh, if this is kind of going off the rails, or if something was to happen, it would be this game?
Arkansas. I think going to Arkansas. I think last year Auburn turned the ball over too many times to win that game. It's a game they should have won.
Yeah.
Auburn feels like Arkansas is a little brother. They treat them like that on the recruiting trail. And that's a game that everybody I've talked to from Auburn has marked as a win. Like, oh yeah, we'll beat Arkansas. So, but Arkansas is one of those teams that, first of all, you don't want to go up there. People lose there every year. Tennessee last.
Isn't their grass longer? Isn't their grass thicker or something with the field?
I'm not sure, but it's something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Texas went
It's
there last
fun.
year. And I remember the players were like, the grass was thick. Like the field was just different. So,
Mhm.
hey, good for Arkansas. Do what you got to
Yeah.
do. Like, do
Yeah.
what you got to do.
You gotta watch them,
Okay.
man.
Yeah. Is there like, are you guys playoff or bust as fans? Or are you all just like 8 wins or you failed nine? Like, how, like, what is the fan base? Like, what is the feel? Is it like
Relevant at Thanksgiving or bust. Be relevant at
relevant at
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving or bust?
Yeah,
Okay.
be relevant. Like, you know, maybe you're not in the mix to be a playoff team, but maybe this game has some. Maybe, you know, the Alabama game has some potential to mess up the SEC championship, and
Got it.
maybe you can't
So
be a
be a
playoff team.
factor.
Be a
Yeah,
factor.
like be a fact. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Be
be
there, be
relevant.
destructive. Yeah.
Yeah, like in Thanksgiving, and have enough wins. Are you going to that last game to the Iron Bowl? You're 8-3. Yeah, maybe you're
Yeah.
not, you know, in position to go to. Maybe it's only two win teams are only going to go. But
Okay.
you know you add some intrigue to a game like the Iron Bowl because hey, you know, they had a couple of close losses, and you know they get it together this time next year. These guys are, you know,
Yeah.
a playoff team or potential playoff contender. Make people feel you that late in the season. It's been so long since Auburn's played relevant football that late in the season in November, mid-November. So not, you know, even much so Thanksgiving. So
Yep.
yeah, I would say be a factor in November, and I think people will be they'll be satisfied. I believe this year.
I love that. I remember Texas being there. And there was the one year before we went 8-4, and we were just kind of like, can we just look, like we're trying? Like, can we
Yeah,
just look good?
yeah,
So I get that. And then I think, yeah, we went 8-4, and then the rest is history. So I think that
mm-hmm.
was our top 3 recruit. That was like our Arch Manning recruiting class too. So it was like,
Okay.
and that's all we wanted. Like, just look decent, please.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been there. I totally understand that. If there's a game, let's say this goes kind of off the rails, or let's say it's kind of whatever. What is the one game where you're like, we have to beat them though? Like, even if whatever, we have to beat this rival. Who do you like? Who is that? Is it Alabama, or is there somebody else where you're like, no, we need to beat those guys?
Now I think this is your best chance to beat Georgia. I think
Ooh.
I think this is the year. You got Georgia at home. You got them early enough for the season. Last time you let them off the hook, had them beat the whole game. It ended up 24-17. Last time you had them in Auburn. They had the brand of Georgia football. They haven't been blowing Auburn out over the last 2 years. So I would say Georgia will probably be that one. I mean, Iron Bowl is clearly the one that is like you can lose every game that year, and if you win the Iron Bowl, you damn near got your job. So. But just to be a little bit contrarian, I'm gonna go Georgia because it's been so long. I don't think Auburn's
Yeah.
been Georgia since 2017.
Has it been that
17.
long?
Yeah, I believe it's
Wow.
2017. They haven't beat. I tell you what, they haven't beaten Georgia since I believe Scott Frost was the coach at UCF, and UCF beat
When they won
Auburn.
that fake championship
Boom, and
thing.
they beat Auburn to win it. I think that was the last time Auburn beat Georgia. Man,
Wow.
my son literally has grown 4 feet since then. 3.5 for sure. I'm like that. Yeah, that's how crazy it is. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. That's a long time. All right. I didn't
Mhm.
realize. I guess you know what's kind of funny? This is so random, but how time moves. Obviously,
Mhm.
time moves, but I didn't realize that was that long ago. Because I
Right.
still remember making fun of UCF in the back of my mind, like, are y'all seriously gonna do this? Walk around like fake champs, remember? And they were like, we're
Right.
gonna get trophies. And I was like, guys, come on, like, let it go.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. So if you could get one player from college football and add them to the Auburn Tigers, who would the one player be and why?
If I can get one player and add him to the Auburn Tigers, I'm gonna go Anthony Hill from the University of Texas, man.
Oh,
I
he'll
think
come
he's
by the
just
way.
yeah, for sure. I think he's just a phenomenal linebacker, a running hit guy that you can put in the middle of that defense. You can rush him off the edge. You can trust him in pass coverage, and he can be the quarterback of your defense. And with that being what I think is probably the weakest link on Auburn's team this year, I would probably go Anthony Hill.
Yeah. Are you just saying that because you knew it was going to fill my heart? Because every time somebody says a Texas player, I'm like, oh, right.
Oh yeah,
We're good.
I think You name a linebacker better than him in the country. Now wait.
I mean, you're not going to get an argument from me. So I
Yeah.
keep saying, I think the one thing about Texas that no one's paying attention to is that defense because they're so fixated on Arch Manning. So they're like, Arch, Arch, Arch. I'm like, what if Arch just goes up there and like doesn't lose it? But anyways, that's a different conversation. This isn't about Texas. So what else should we know about Auburn heading into the season? Like what else is top of mind for you, or what else are you thinking about as a fan? Or like, I don't know, do you guys get in a group chat and talk?
Yeah, I just think recruiting.
Like,
I think
okay.
Auburn has the biggest impact, the biggest ability to impact other people's recruiting classes because you miss out on all these top flight guys in June and July, and a lot of people don't see
Interesting.
Auburn in the same light as Auburn sees itself. So if they can show themselves to be who they think they are and how they carry themselves to be, and I say this Auburn as a program, as a recruiting staff, as a coaching staff, if they can show other people that hey, this we all talk about it, POC, not people of color, proof of concept. If you can get people to understand, like, hey, look, this system actually works, then I think they impact and they get a lot of flips done because you're not going to see Auburn wind up last in the SEC in recruiting, and everybody knows it. But until they show it on the field, it's still a possibility because that's where they are right now. So I think recruiting is something that I think that people are be paying attention to even during the season, and that's going to have a huge impact on other teams in the SEC.
That's fair. How do you think Auburn's recruiting has gone so far?
The worst possible. Zero.
Like, yeah, I feel like recruiting is so interesting because how do you feel about it? Okay, here's how I feel about it. I feel like we get so worked up and like people want players on their team. They want players on their team. Then when they get the players and then those players start to flip, they're like, well, why did you ever agree? So it's like, do you want to be happy in July, August, or do you not want to be like, so it's a catch-22. And then we all know these kids on signing day or 2 days before signing day, they're liable to do whatever. So what do you hear people talking about college recruiting? Is it kind of chaotic like it feels?
No, it 1000% is, and that's kind of what the world I come from. So I'm kind of used to it, a little bit desensitized to it. But what I will say is this: you want to be so happy in the summer that even if you get disappointed in the fall and early winter, then it doesn't kill your class. And I think the problem is people get attached to players and not classes. Be attached to the class. Like understand that there's so many good players in this class that even if you get a couple of defections, defectors, defections. Hold on, let's just tackle that word. Defect. If you defect from a class, what does that make you?
I think the word you're looking for is defector. So defector. I think that means that you're a part of it and then you like defect away from it. I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I think.
I think I'm gonna go defector. I think I'm going defector.
Because a deflector, I don't think that is the right word for this context.
Not deflector, but I'm almost like, you got a defect, but is it a defect?
I think it's because I think the other word for it is defection.
Yeah, right.
And I think defection is the same word as defector.
Let's just look it up.
Are you looking it up? Okay. Because I feel like they might be the same word, just different tenses of the same word.
Defector definition: a person who has abandoned their country or cause in favor of an opposing one. So
we were right?
We were right.
We were right.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's where you probably worry a little bit less is if you have such a strong class in the summertime that 1 or 2 doesn't make a huge difference if you lose them.
I also, because I have to learn this in the NFL draft every year, is that every call it whatever, every cycle's the word. You don't need everything every cycle. Like if you can get everything every cycle, fantastic, go get it. But sometimes you already have 10 of one thing or 8 of one thing, and the coaches think that is a strong group. Now, will they take a 5-star or one addition or something like that? They will, but it's not like they're screaming that they need it. And I think sometimes as fans, like we forget that what's already in the cupboard might be okay. And I'm kind of speaking to Texas fans a little bit because sometimes I'm like, we've had like a number 3 recruiting class, top 5 recruiting class, number 1 recruiting class. We have a lot of guys right now. And sometimes it's like, if you just keep adding, which obviously I'm not saying like take anybody, don't get anybody, but like pay attention to the moves that are being made. Because sometimes they're not going to getting 9 linebackers because they already have 10 and no one's leaving. So
right.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do?
And especially now with the salary cap and knowing that you have to
All of
budget
it.
the money that you have in a particular room versus who are you going to bring into that room. So I think, I think this will be the point that you made is really important, because as the salary cap is implemented, it's going to be more roster management is going to be more important than ever. There were times where you just take them all and let them fight it out, and the ones who don't make it got to transfer.
Yeah,
they getting paid now, so
yeah.
and it's not monopoly money. So I think that's going to be the case going forward. So I think that's a really good point, really astute point that you made.
Oh, well, thank you. I will say some of these schools are playing with monopoly money, but I'll just leave that where it's at. Anyways, I will end this. So, I'm not going to end this. I'm sorry. If you would have any questions that you would like to ask me, you are more than welcome to ask. I will be honest and say I have been given feedback that I often bring people on and I talk to them, and then I never ask them if they want to ask me any questions. So I am accepting the feedback, and I am going to ask every single person that I talk to, if you have any questions for me. I think I've asked every single person. The one person I didn't ask, now I'm going to feel bad when this releases, but do you have any questions for me that you want to ask me? You do not have to ask me any questions, but hey, feedback is feedback. And I think it was actually smart feedback that somebody told me.
I got a question. Who's your favorite? If you had to take one Auburn player of all time and add them to whatever all-time team, college football team that you have, who would be the Auburn player that you would pick?
Bo Jackson.
Love it. Love it. I love it.
Full stop.
Yeah. Bo Jackson.
Period.
Yeah. Gotta go Bo. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good
Period.
one. And I think if there's any time that you remember Auburn having a good national moment, are there any national moments that you remember about Auburn?
I very specifically remember was it a kick that Alabama kicked? I wasn't on Thanksgiving.
Yep, kick 6.
And I remember the kick, and I remember Nick Saban was kind of on the sideline, almost like he was seeing it, but it was too late. And it was almost like it took him a minute and he just didn't see it. So I very specifically remember that. I also remember, I think that was like 2 years ago though, the Jalen Milroe throw in the corner of the end zone.
Oh my goodness.
I think that was to Isaiah Bond, wasn't it?
I believe so. I think it was Bond.
So I remember that.
Yeah.
Those are like the things that stick out to me. Obviously,
really cool
if I like,
it's really cool to see how national media sees Auburn. Like, so somebody who's covered Auburn, that's how I cut my teeth in the industry. I covered Auburn for a couple of years at 247 Sports, CBS Sports, and just seeing how the national media and pundits from across the country, how they view Auburn and things that they remember about Auburn. So to hear not just the kick 6, but the fourth and 31, to hear that one.
4th and 30, that one. Yeah. I feel like too, for the longest time, 4th and and it was kind of like, because that year Texas had beaten Alabama, and I wanted Alabama obviously to lose, because I was like, if they lose, then Texas is definitely going to get into the playoffs. And then they won, and I was like, what in the hell? And then I was like, only Alabama. I remember. Anyways, the other thing I'm going to ask you, because I asked you this when we recorded for our series for the Falcons in May or August, April. I don't care. I don't know. I don't even know what the month this is, actually, if I think about it too long. Do you have Texas beating Georgia this year in Athens?
I don't know. When do they play?
At the end of the year. I just know we will be coming off of a bye week. I believe it's like week 10. It's like towards the end of the season.
I'll tell you Georgia. Going to Athens at the end of I think if Texas beats Georgia, they got to get them early like Bama did. But you can't let Georgia get on the run. And once they figure out each other, and once that defense gets rolling, they're gonna be hard to beat in November. So October, I think that would be the reason.
I love it. I think it might be Arch Manning's moment.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens, because he'll have a bye week to prepare, and we'll see. And at this point, honestly, like, I guess it depends on records, but like, I just want Sark to just let it all out there. Let him go out there. Let him do what he's going to do. Who cares? Like, I want us to be in a position where we can do that. So I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. And let's be honest, I just want to talk trash. I just want to talk trash.
Crazy.
I can't lie. I just want to talk trash. Anyways, I just want to talk trash. I mean, how great would it be for Texas to go to Georgia and beat Georgia? Like, those people would all but cry if that happened.
Last year, did Texas go 0-2 against Georgia last year?
They did.
Yeah, they need to win this one. Yep.
Do you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And it's like, that's what I'm saying. And it's in Athens. And it's, anyways, like, I could go on and on about this, but we'll see. And I do agree with you. I was kind of hoping it was an earlier game, but then I realized it wasn't going to be, because we have like Oklahoma and Ohio State. They're not going to play it. Listen, no matter what people think about Texas, Texas brings in a lot of money, and they're not going to play us like all those games early. They need something late. So anyways, well, I will end on you. Anything else you want to add? Anything you want to share? I already said I'll leave all your information in the comment section description, all the YouTube things. But anything else on your end that you're thinking about, or maybe that you're hoping that I would ask you?
Nah, man, that's it, man. I'm just man, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the time. A really comprehensive interview. I'm hoping Auburn has a great season. Good luck to your Longhorns and War Damn Eagle.
Oh my gosh. Are you gonna be cheering for my Texas Longhorns?
Against some people. I'd say this. And it also depends on my parlay. So I can guarantee there'll be some times that I will that based on financial ramifications, I will be cheering for Texas at some point.
You are a very smart man. Thank you.